34 unanswered points, explosive touchdowns from unexpected heroes, and a defense flying around to force chaos. The Chicago Bears kicked off their preseason with an emphatic 34-10 beatdown of the Cleveland Browns. But beneath that blowout score, several players just completely shifted the entire roster landscape. If you are hyped for Bears football and want unfiltered, hard-hitting breakdown all season long, do not forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and hit that subscribe button right now. What a way to open the preseason slate. After falling behind 10-0 in an agonizingly slow first quarter, Chicago completely took over this game, hanging 34 straight points on Cleveland over the final 3 frames. It was electric, it was physical, and it gave us our first real look at who is actually ready to fight for a spot on this 53-man roster. When you see backups playing with that kind of relentless energy in August, does it not make you realize just how deep and hungry this roster is finally becoming? We saw guys step into the spotlight and seize their moment, while a few others saw their roster dreams hit a massive roadblock. Let us start on the offensive side with our first major winner, running back Salvon Ahmed. We have been hearing whispers all throughout training camp about his lightning-fast burst and his ability to bounce outside and catch out of the backfield, but seeing it under the lights was something special. Ahmed totaled 17 tough yards on the ground, but the absolute highlight came on a masterclass 49-yard screen pass. Ben Johnson handed play-calling duties over to Antoine Randall L. for the second half, and Randall L. dialed up pure perfection. Case Keenum faked the bootleg to the right, tossed it back left to Ahmed, and he did the rest. Ahmed showed insane patience, set up his blocks, threw down a nasty stiff arm, and turned on the Jets to take it all the way to the house. After dealing with multiple nagging injuries over the past 2 seasons, Ahmed looked completely healthy, explosive, and determined. He showed that game-breaking juice, and he just made a massive statement that he is ready to challenge for that third running back role. Speaking of Case Keenum, how about that veteran presence under center? Keenum came out to run the offense in the third quarter and looked cool, calm, and totally in command. We are talking about a 15-year NFL veteran who stepped onto the field and played surgical football. Keenum went 9 of 10 for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a flawless, perfect passer rating. He even evaded a collapsing pocket, shed a sack, and scrambled forward for a 6-yard gain. You can never underestimate what an experienced veteran quarterback brings to a locker room. He provides an invaluable voice for Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent, acting as a crucial sounding board between the young signal callers and the coaching staff. And when Keenum was asked about it post-game, he said it best: no matter your age or level, scoring touchdowns never gets old. He is a phenomenal security blanket for this team. Moving out wide, the battle for the final wide receiver spots is turning into an absolute dogfight, and Caden Davis made his presence felt in a huge way. Davis caught 4 passes for 88 yards, delivering 3 explosive chunk gains on the afternoon. He took a strike from Tyson Bagent, turned on the burners for 41 yards after the catch, and added 2 more 20-yard snags. He even went up into traffic on a high throw across the middle, climbing the ladder to pull it down. Throw in a crisp punt return, and the 27-year-old showed the exact versatility and separation this coaching staff demands. He was not alone in that receiver room, either. Maurice Alexander had 3 grabs for 42 yards and a slick 25-yard touchdown, though a frustrating drop slightly dampened his afternoon. Ray McLeod flashed his veteran speed on a 28-yard crossing route, and Scotty Miller chipped in 3 catches for 37 yards. There are simply too many talented receivers fighting for maybe 1 or 2 open slots. That brings us directly to our question of the day: which wide receiver deserves that coveted final roster spot? And did Salvon Ahmed just completely steal the RB3 job away from the competition? Let me know your exact thoughts down in the comments section below. Over on the defensive side of the ball, Jamri Chroma put on an absolute clinic off the edge. Chroma was living in the Browns' backfield, racking up 6 tackles, a tackle for loss and run defense, and 2 huge sacks. His biggest moment came on a critical 4th and short stop where he blew past his blocker, delivered a ferocious strip sack on Deshaun Watson, and recovered the loose ball himself. With Chicago looking for reliable depth at edge rusher, especially with Deo Odiingbo sliding inside and Daniel Hardy contributing primarily on special teams. Chroma made the front office sit up and take notice. If he strings together another dominant outing next week, the coaching staff will have some excruciating decisions to make on cutdown day. Linebacker Ruben Hippolyte too also flashed big time before suffering a tough shoulder injury. On the opening kickoff, Hippolyte came flying down to make the tackle, and later stuffed a crucial third end short for a loss, finishing with 7 total tackles. He showed tremendous gap discipline and instinctual flow to the ball. We also saw defensive lineman Neville Gallimore generate 2 tackles for loss with great penetration, while Beanie Bishop Jr. capitalized on 2 gift interceptions. Even veteran linebacker Devin Bush set an aggressive physical tone with a tackle for loss on the opening drive. Up front, Chicago suffocated Cleveland's rushing attack. Unfortunately, every preseason opener also comes with serious red flags, and the injury bug took a devastating bite out of Chicago's secondary. Safety Xavier Woods exited early with a groin injury, which head coach Ben Johnson confirmed after the game. When you consider that this defensive backfield is already down key contributors with players like Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, Tariq Stevenson, and Elijah Hicks all working through ailments, losing Woods is alarming. If Chicago had to suit up tomorrow, rookie safety Dylan Thieneman and Skylar Thomas would be thrust into heavy starting duty alongside Jalen Johnson. Add in tight end Nikola Kalinick leaving with a knee injury and linebacker Nephi Sewell suffering a scary concussion on a violent kickoff collision, and the depth chart is feeling the pressure. Then there were the on-field struggles. Running back Britton Brown, who was a fan favorite last season, had a rough outing with just 8 yards on 5 carries. While third-string offensive line play makes life difficult for any tailback late in games, Brown showed very little burst and lacks the special teams impact that guys like Salvon Ahmed and Roscoe Johnson provide. His path to making the 53 is shrinking by the day. At quarterback, rookie Miller Moss experienced some intense first-game jitters. Moss started 0 for 5 with erratic ball placement before settling down to complete his final 3 throws. He is firmly in developmental territory and fighting to prove he belongs on the practice squad rather than getting cut entirely. In the secondary, Josh Blackwell continues to be an elite special teams ace, but his play at cornerback was rough. Blackwell got matched up against Browns wideouts Denzel Boston and Jerry Jeudy and was repeatedly beaten in coverage. He remains a lock for the roster because of his special teams brilliance, but the coaching staff cannot feel comfortable deploying him as an outside corner. Along the offensive line, offensive tackle Jedrick Wills Jr. struggled mightily in his rotation snaps behind starter Kieran Amegadjie. Wills gave up a brutal, unblocked sack on Tyson Bagent, looking hesitant in his first live game action in nearly 2 years. With Braxton Jones expected back in practice, Wills is falling behind fast in the tackle hierarchy. Finally, that initial field goal operation was a chaotic mess. Undrafted rookie long snapper Bo Gardner sent a low, erratic snap that punter Tory Taylor struggled to control, causing Cairo Santos to pull a 50-yard attempt wide left. Santos rebounded nicely with a 51-yarder and clean extra points, but that kicking battery must be airtight before week 1. The positive news is that reinforcements are on the way. Ben Johnson confirmed that Braxton Jones is returning to the field, and star edge rusher Montez Sweat is ramping up his activity in anticipation of the regular season opener. Which player must step up the most in preseason week 2? Drop your reactions below, keep supporting the squad, and as always, bear down.